This is regarding Aryan invasion or Aryan race theory. This theory is a 19th century colonial race theory which has been refuted by many reputed scholars. So let us join together to ensure our history textbooks do not teach 19th century race theory to our future generations. Together, let us ensure that future generations of Bharatiyas do not grow up imbibing colonial era race theory which was manufactured to divide Bharatiyas. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste to Sangam Talk viewers. If someone asks, what's your involvement in your child's education? Many of us will say that getting admission to a good school, arranging for the fees payment, arranging school bus transportation, uniform. This is the typical list for many of us. In our day-to-day lives, we are often focused on our career, family, managing finances, etc. etc. In this situation, most of us will hardly pay any attention to the content of the school textbooks or what is being taught to our children. We assume that textbooks are prepared by reputable educational academic institutions working in a non-partisan and diligent manner. It is an unstated assumption that the best brains of the country are chosen and paid out of the taxpayers' money to do a thorough and honest job of textbook writing. However, there is one specific instance where our school textbooks are disseminating false and misleading information. This is regarding Aryan invasion or Aryan race theory. This theory is a 19th century colonial race theory which has been refuted by many reputed scholars. Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar had also refuted this theory and had called it a perversion of scientific investigation. So it's very surprising that this theory still continues to be taught in our school textbooks. Now, some of us may wonder, what is the harm in teaching this theory to school children? The continued inclusion of such misleading statements for many decades in our school textbooks is resulting in indoctrinating young minds with biased narratives and in perpetuating inter-community fault lines. In fact, the Delhi Historian Group, in which many reputed historians are members, published a document titled Communalization of Education, the History Textbook Controversy. This was published in the year 2001. In that document it states, the race theory has long been discarded and no one in academic discourse speaks of an Aryan race. There is here a gravely divisive campaign which has all the potential for exacerbating hostility between the proponents of Aryan chauvinism and the Dravidianists. They will teach that the Hindus are the descendants of the Aryans who were all indigenous inhabitants in India and all the others are foreigners. These are the concerns raised by our eminent historians themselves, and this was way back in the year 2001. Not just that, in the year 2005, the Committee of Central Advisory Board of Education Ministry of the Ministry of Human Resources also discussed the issue of cultivation of hate. That document says, and I quote, even supposedly neutral bodies foster hostility at an age when children lack the understanding of political formations to demand evidence or to challenge misinformation. There are also research studies which document the psychological impact to students, such as race-related traumatic stress, impact to self-esteem of the young students. What can we do about this? I had filed a writ petition in the Honorable Madras High Court seeking to restrain the NCERT and SCERT from propagating the Aryan invasion race theory in school textbooks, which is creating a racial divide in the Indian society. The Honorable High Court, in its judgment, observed thus: the court is not an expert in history or in the origin of races. The relief requested by the petitioner cannot be granted by this court without examining and deciding whether the two-race theory, which the petitioner claims is false, is valid or invalid. So it's appropriate that this determination is made by experts in the field and not by the court. So, hence, the court had directed NCERT and State Textbook Commission, which is the SCERT, to consider this grievance ventilated by the petition and dispose of the same within 12 weeks after providing a reasonable opportunity to the petitioner, including by way of a personal hearing. So, during the hearing with NCERT and State Textbook Committee, I will share the scholarly refutation to the Aryan race theory, and the NCERT and the State Textbook Committee will consider and take a decision. However, I must bring to your attention an important research book published in the year 2017 by Shri Neeraj Atriji and Shri Muneshwar Sagarji. This book is titled Brainwashed Republic, India's Controlled Systemic Deracination. In this book, the authors have observed thus: the Aryan invasion theory, that is the AIT they call it, manufactured by the British in the 18th century, is the bedrock on which the antagonistic divisions in the Indian society are created and in which divisive identity politics takes root. The AIT has been dumped even by its most famous vociferous supporters. But the NCERT authors insert the AIT in the textbook and base several other of their historical narratives on the AIT. These authors at no place directly outline or explain the AIT. Instead, they selectively either quote individuals from the 18th and 19th centuries, primarily social activists, or build a historical narrative which presupposes the AIT. The children are forced to assume and accept that an Aryan invasion took place at some point of time in our history. In fact, the authors cite many references in their books, and they had filed more than 100 RTA applications seeking clarifications to some of the assertions in the textbooks. Now, what can you and me do about this? As individuals, you and me have little voice. But when we join together, then our voices will be heard. So let us join together to ensure our history textbooks do not teach 19th century race theory to our future generations. I humbly request you to please take 5 minutes to visit the website aryanracetheorydebunked.org. We will put it in the comments below there, aryanracetheorydebunked.org, to learn more about this topic. Support the effort to debunk the Aryan race theory. Share this information with your friends and family and create awareness. Together, let us ensure that future generations of Bharatiyas do not grow up imbibing colonial-era race theory which was manufactured to divide Bharatiyas. Jai Hind.